my countrymen, you have called upon me to assume the highest office within your gift. I accept the trust humbly and gratefully. My sole determination is to be the president of the people. The office of the president is the highest in the land. It could be the humblest also, as we regard it, as we must, in the light of basic democratic principles. The first of these principles is the Declaration of Constitution that sovereignty resides with the people and all government authorities emanate from them. This simply means that all of us in the public office are but servants of the people. As I see it, your mandate from the past election was not a license for selfish enjoyment of power by any man or group of men. On the contrary, it was an endorsement of principle, at times forgotten, but the general welfare is the only justification for the exercise of governmental power and authority. Your mandate was a clear and urgent command established for people, a government based upon honesty and morality, a government sensitive to your needs, a dedicated to your best interest, and inspired by the highest ideals of man's liberty. We have a glorious past, now we must build a future worthy of that past. It is significant that we begin on this day and on this ground hallowed by the supreme sacrifice of a citizen. We can find no finer example of dedication to country to right our way. All too often, however, we speak of Rizal and of Del Pilar, Bonifacio Mabini, and our host of heroes as if their work were done, as if their spirit had ceased to have any meaning and value to our people. The truth is, we need their spirit, now more than ever. We needed to complete the work which they began. We need men of integrity and faith like Rizal and Del Pilar, men of action like Bonifacio, men of inflexible patriotism like Mabini. We need their zeal, their self-reliance, their capacity for work, their devotion to service, their ability to lose themselves in a common cause of building a nation. I will have such men. From this day, the members of my administration, beginning with myself, shall cease to belong to our parties, families, even to ourselves. We shall belong only to the people. In the administration of public affairs, all men entrusted with authorities must adhere firmly to the ideals and principles of our Constitution. I will render and demand, and comprising the loyalty to the basic tenet of our Constitution, that you, the people, are sovereign. The rule of government must be service to you. Accordingly, I pledge my administration to your service. I pledge that we shall extend the protection of the law to everyone, fairly and impartially, to the rich and poor, to the learned and unlearned, recognizing no party but nation, no family but the great family of a race, no interest save the common welfare. The Bill of Rights shall be for me and members of my administration a bill of duties. We shall be the guardian of freedom and dignity to individual. More than this, we shall strive to give meaning and substance to our liberties guaranteed by our Constitution by helping our citizens attain the economic well-being so essential to the enjoyment of civil and political rights. The separation of power ordained by our Constitution as an effective safeguard against tyranny shall be preserved assiduously. Mutual respect for the rights and prerogative of each of three great departments of government must be observed. The legislative power vested by our Constitution in the elected representatives of people will, I trust, operate vigorously to prosecute our common program of honest, efficient, and constructive government. As executive, I look forward to intimate cooperation with the members of Congress, particularly to those statesmen who have stood guard over the rights and liberties of our people. Heretofore, social justice has raised fervent but frustrated hopes in the hearts of all less fortunate citizens. We must not permit social justice to take an empty phrase in our Constitution. We shall bring it to life for all. In consonance with this purpose, my administration shall take positive, energetic measures to improve the living conditions of our fellow citizens in the various and neglected rural places and our laborers in the urban and industrial centers. The land tenure system of our country shall be examined to purge it of injustice and oppression. Land for landless shall be more than just a catchphrase. We will translate it to actuality. We will open for settlement our vast and fertile public lands on which, under the coaxing of willing hearts and industrious hands, are waiting to yield the substance of millions to our countrymen. Democracy becomes meaningless if it fails to satisfy the primary needs of common man. If it cannot give him freedom of fear on which strong republic can be built, his happiness and security are the only foundations on which a strong republic can be built. His happiness and security shall be foremost among the goals of my administration. We must develop the national economy so that it may better satisfy the material needs of our people. The benefits of economic and industrial development programs shall be channeled first to our common people so that their living standards shall be raised. While I shall take priority to our domestic problems, my administration will not neglect our international responsibilities. We cannot escape the fact that today, the destinies of nations are closely linked. It is in this spirit that we regard the goodwill and assistance extended to us through the various programs of international economic cooperation with more developed nations, chiefly the United States. Consider this aid to be primarily a means of speeding up our progress towards self-reliance. I pledge that every peso worth assistance will be spent honestly and to the best advantage. It is our common interest that this republic, a monument to mutual goodwill and common labor, shall prove to the world the vitality of democracy on which we live. We shall continue to cooperate with United Nations in seeking collective security or just a world peace. No effect will be spared. No element of cooperation will be withheld in strengthening and safeguarding our physical security. We are prepared to live up all our obligations under the Mutual Defense Treaty with the United States. To our Asian brothers, we send our fraternal greetings. They are beset by problems with the same nature and complexity as those that confront us. I invite them to share experience in finding solution to those problems through democratic means. It is my hope that we can exchange experiences and information on methods that each of us has found most effective in subduing illiteracy, poverty, disease, unproductivity, and common evil which afflicted our country in past generations. The problems and opportunities ahead of us set the measure of effort we must exert in the years to come. We must have unity to solve our problems. Cooperation exploits with opportunities. I urge you to forego partisan differences whenever the national interest clearly demands for united actions. We shall not be distracted by our work. We have no time for petty strife. Certainly, we cannot temporize with armed dissidents. I therefore call upon the Hook, uprising still hiding in the hills, to lay down their guns and join the rest of the nations in a ways of peace. I shall say to rank and file the Hook, who have been misled by the Kremlin, that they can win the economic security and social justice they desire only within the framework of our democracy. We will welcome back the truly repentant with understanding and sympathy. I have been told that too much is expected with this administration, that our people expect impossible. For this young and vigorous nation of ours, nothing is really impossible. Let us have faith in ourselves, the same faith that fired the heroic generation of abolition. They waged and won their struggle with nothing but boldness in their hand and courage in their hearts. Without political training and experiences, they wrote a constitution comparable with the best, and established the first republic in Asia. Our old generation was told by the authors and the enemies that we would never have an independence with the United States. We live today in a free and sovereign republic. Our fate was fulfilled. Today, we are told anew that it is impossible to do what must be done. But our people, sustained by God, under whose protection we place our destiny and happiness, and strengthened by His abiding faith in His goodness and mercy, our people, united and free, shall shape a future worthy of a noble heritage if we but act together, act wisely, act with courage, act unselfishly, in a spirit of patriotic dedication.